What's up, everybody? Ben here with a quick announcement and a brief warning. Ironically, and more unfortunately, as we were recording, I did not realize that my high-quality microphone was not the input being recorded. Instead, it was the input on my laptop webcam. You can still hear everything, and it's relatively clear. It just sounds like I'm at the bottom of a well. At this point, I kind of wish I was at the bottom of a well because I feel like an idiot. All that said, hopefully you can enjoy the episode and the wonderful storytelling and the fun that we had, and hopefully the audio is not too frustrating for you guys. Just wanted to give a brief heads up so you're not surprised, and hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Across the Glass Sea. This is a live play 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons podcast, and I, as always, am your Dungeon Master, Nathaniel Miller, and I'm joined in studio by...
Ben Gilbreth playing Tomarion, Mum's the word, Narsenite.
Yes, that is the word. I've heard. We are also joined by...
Your boy Mikey Maz playing Lichen Insightful Ethalamule.
Ooh, yes.
I love how sometimes you go full radio jockey.
I love it.
Beer,
that
beer.
name's from high school or something, I think.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the studio with Mikey Maz and the boys.
We need some tags for whenever he pulls a Mikey Maz, like some shock jock radio tags. Yeah.
I'll find one.
When you say Glass Sea, we need one of those radio breaking glass sound effects.
Yeah. Across the glass sea, glass breaking, the sound of a wave, fireworks maybe. I don't know. Now that those introductions are out of the way, how about a recap?
Yes, please.
Let's do it.
All right. Last time in Tyroa, our heroes met with the survivors of the Sound Elemental attack, the former crew of the Grey Wanderer, and you learned more about the probable location of the Admiralty Vault ship. As you traveled through the waves, you schemed about possible ways to infiltrate the craft and possibly to cover your tracks once you have carried out the robbery, possibly trying to pin the blame upon rival Admiralty factions.
So many good ideas.
The White Wake made port in Porto Medio, and you explored the city. Lichen visited a temple for the first time. And as he called out to Neema, the Lady of Seas and Storms, he heard a shocking voice cry out in reply. Who knows what other surprises await our adventurers across the Glass Sea? And so, Lichen, as you were praying, kind of asking Neema for guidance, almost as if in response, you hear this sort of middle-aged, kind of just average-looking human in a pew across the temple from you. Downcast, he's dejected, he calls out, calling upon Neema, saying, Lady Neema, please, help me to keep my job on the Vault ship. I've made such a mistake. I don't know what I'm going to do. And he carries on aloud like that for a little bit, and then he trails off, and he's frantically praying, but he's quiet now.
Tam's eyes are as big as dinner plates, and he looks up at the ceiling and puts... I have 15 silver. He puts all the silver in that offering plate.
Nice. Yeah.
And Tam is just standing there, literally gobsmacked. Has no idea what to do.
Hearing this, so he's a pew across the way. Lichen, after doing this plea, what am I supposed to do? What do you want? No one wants me. I think I'll just look up at the statue, smile. Well, thank you kindly, ma'am. And I'll get up and I'll go sit at the pew directly behind this guy. And I stab him in the back. No.
You need a cowboy hat to tip to the statue.
I sit down and I'll wait a couple seconds. And then I'll tap him on the shoulder.
He's got his eyes closed, and when you tap him on the shoulder, he whirls around, eyes almost as big as Tam's. Hello. What? How can I help you? You see, he's got a sort of salt and pepper beard. He has a scar on one cheek. He's wearing a uniform that has an insignia that you recognize as a lieutenant's rank. So he's an officer, but he's a low-level officer.
Okay. Yeah, hello. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I've never been in a temple or a place like this, but
You've never been in a temple before?
No, I haven't, but I've been feeling lately the pull of Lady Neema, and you just look so fervent in praying to. How does this work? How do I?
Oh, my friend, I'm afraid I'm the wrong person for you to ask. I'm in deep distress. And he sort of like pauses. He puts his hands on the pew. He says, I'm in quite a conundrum.
Well, what happened, sir? I mean, I'm in a slight pickle myself. But what? Maybe I could help.
The pickle of wanting to rob you blind.
I'm trying to come across as so. Oh, I know nothing about this.
I think I'm gonna need a deception check.
I don't know if I've lied. Just throwing that out there.
I don't think you've lied. You haven't lied, and so the DC is not going to be super high. But I think you are trying to present yourself as something you're not.
Okay.
Well, don't mind little old me. I'm just a rogue merchant.
That's gonna be a dirty 20, boys.
Yeah. I figured. He says,
Lying in church.
"Well, you seem like an upstanding fellow. Perhaps there's something you could do to help me about it. Yes. Neema you may be the answer to my prayers.
I do think she guided me here. Yeah.
Well, I believe that she's guided me here as well." And he takes your hand and says, "Perhaps there's a safer place where we might talk. Perhaps somewhere out in the streets or in an alley or some other such place. You never know who might be listening here."
This guy has read too many spy novels.
He looks at Tam, and his eyes narrow.
Tam nods and just kind of calls loudly, like stage whisper. Captain, have you reached your conclusion?
Is this one with you?
Yes, he is. He's my second in command of my ship.
You're a captain. You have a ship. You have a vessel.
I do. I haven't been a captain very long. I don't know. Maybe that's why Neema's revealing herself to me, trying to give me guidance upon the waves. But yes, let's go talk. Let's go talk. And brother, what's your name?
Yes. My name is Rodrigo, Lieutenant Rodrigo.
It is going to be so bad when you have to stab this guy.
Hey man, Lycan's had a rough life. He's no stranger to lying. And he hasn't lied yet. I'm still I'm towing the line. I love it. Well, Rodrigo, where can is there someone close by we might be able to speak?
You see, I'm not quite sure. I'm not really haven't spent too much time in this city. My station and my place is mostly on board the ship, but I'm afraid that I may no longer have a place there. Let me tell you the story. Let's just tuck away in some side alley that's quiet, and I can regale you with my sorry tale of woe.
As it would seem that neither of you are particularly well versed in temples and churches and whatnot. If I'm being honest, this place is probably the safest we're gonna get. Maybe if we tuck ourselves away in a corner here, make sure there's not a lot of echoes. Nathaniel, how would you allow silence to work? Because I have silence stocked.
Yeah.
And so would we be able to communicate inside of the silence bubble? That's one of those I have heard both ways. I will defer to your judgment, but...
So, reading the actual spell, it says, for the duration, no sound can be created within or pass through a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point you can choose within range.
Right.
Any creature or object entirely inside the sphere is immune to thunder damage, and creatures are deafened while entirely inside it. So I'll say, no, you cannot communicate within it based on that.
So Tam would have already known that because he exists in your world full time.
Yes.
And so just say, yeah, I think honestly, let's just find an out of the way corner. The priests here seem fairly unbothered.
But you never know who you can trust. And he looks askance at one of the priests who's just sort of polishing one of the statues of Neema. You never know who could be listening.
I suppose you're right, and this is your news to your secret to tell, but I'm pretty sure we're pretty safe here.
He'll look to Lichen. What do you think?
What do you think, helpful, honest friend?
Well, I don't know. You said you had a place on a ship, but you don't anymore. You want somewhere quiet. We could go.
It is very quiet in this temple.
I think Tam has already turned his back, and I'm just watching to see if there's anybody getting close.
I mean, if you feel comfortable talking here, I think that's fine. Otherwise, the only other place I could think of is, I mean, we could go back to my ship.
Perhaps that may be of use later. Yes, that will be good to keep in consideration as we plan. The recompense for my sorry tale.
Yes, of course.
Dear friend. Yes, of course. So it all started about a week ago. I have a position on the vault ship. It's very coveted, very lucrative, in service to the admirals of the blockade fleet. Yes, we store all sorts of naval stores there and other personal treasures and such of the high admirals, And my post was to oversee we could say the loading and unloading of mundane cargo. And as part of that position, once every, I would cycle in shifts, taking a smaller craft here to restock on supplies for our crew that mans the main ship. Now, I had fallen in with some fellows who I thought were my bosom companions, my mateys, and we decided to engage in a bit of revelry when we were upon the town. 2 nights ago, we went to a place of ill repute, which I should have known better. I was taken aback by it at first, but through to the imprecations and the pleadings of the men who I thought were my bosom companions, I overrode my better judgment and engaged in gambling. And he takes a moment.
Clutches his pearls.
Not gambling in bed. Now that's...
I know, I'm sorry. I'm so... you must think the worst of me. And then he goes on and he says, I had an amulet. It is an amulet made of silver with a blue gem in the middle, and it is called an amulet of recognition, and it is an instrument of my office, as well as a badge that permits me to enter the locations in the vault ship that are relevant to my post. It allows me to bypass some of the defenses and traps which someone without my authorization may not be able to access. Of course, when I was out upon the town, I was induced through various means to offer it up in a gambling game, and I lost it. I'm afraid that I lost it to none other than the champ.
Oh my gosh.
The champ? Is that a local hero of some kind who...
Hardly. I believe more like a villain based on his conduct towards me in the past several days. When I went back to ask him and explain the situation for him to return my belonging, he laughed at me. He's not a champion of virtue, I can tell you that.
Okay.
He is, from my understanding, I've never really spent much time in such a place as this, but I believe he is the champion of some sort of ramshackle, low-down pit-fighting ring that they have underneath this den of ill repute. And I believe the name of this den of thieves and ingrates is the Serpent's Flagon. Such a vulgar name.
Oh, and that's where Penelope is staying, right?
That's where Penelope not only is staying, but she has also reserved rooms for you guys.
Okay.
Okay, so you lost this medallion. That's the station of your position on this ship that lets you get around to this. You called it a vault ship, is that right?
Yes, it's sort of like a mix between a floating supply depot and a large treasure vault or bank. The admirals, of course, due to their privilege and immense power, have the authority to dispose of their belongings in it.
Yeah, of course.
I served more on the side of the supplies.
Well, that's fascinating. I don't think I've ever heard of a ship like this. And you said it gives you access to different areas?
You've never seen anything like it. It is amazing. It is.
Are you one of the highest? Can you go anywhere you want on this ship with that thing? That's dangerous.
Oh no. Oh no. You flatter me, dear friend. But no, I'm in charge of overseeing the logistics and supplies. So I'm limited just to one quadrant of the ship.
Part of the reason Tam has his back to is because he would not be able to stop laughing either. Every time Lichen opens his mouth, Tam is just biting his lip and rolling his eyes so hard.
So this champ, when I went to ask for it back, he said that I could get it back if I could best him in a duel. And I'm afraid that my training has more to do with tabulating supply ledgers than combat. And so I knew that it would be suicide. I'd be looking at a broken arm or worse, and so there was nothing that I could do. I tried to beseech upon his honor to return it to me as a fellow sea-going man, but he refused. And he's quite intimidating looking.
Captain, why do we seem to always attract actuaries?
I know what that word means. Rodriguez, do you know? Could you enlighten us?
Yes, technically I'm not an actuary. I'm not an accountant of sorts, but I do oversee the importation and exportation of supplies.
Totally.
Really, I'm more of a manager than an actuary, because I mostly just tell the dockhands and sailors to do what I think they ought to do in order to accomplish the tasks that are sent to us.
Tam just, without turning again, just says, "Oh, terribly sorry."
Yeah, Tam, this is no actuary. This is someone who has access to a whole quadrant of a vault ship under the authority of the admirals. Ain't that right?
Yes, I serve at their behest. Although, if they were to find out that I, through circumstances entirely understandable, mislaid my amulet, I think that termination of my position would be the best that I could hope for, and other alternatives would be too unpleasant to countenance.
Well, we can't have that.
No.
What if we help you, or attempt to help get this amulet back from this so-called champ, and then...
Would you do that?
Yeah, and then maybe we could even give you a ride to the vault ship, because it sounds like you're kind of laywayed a bit here.
By the sovereigns, yes! I feigned illness when my so-called bosom companions returned to the vault ship, but I would need, yes, both help retrieving my amulet and a ride back. If you would be so willing, I would be forever in your debt.
So wait, these companions, they're your co-workers. They're not just people you met here. These are people that you work with regularly.
Yes, but they're the uncouth sort of vagabond layabouts who populate some of the lower ranks.
I hate that type. Yep.
Yes, no culture, no good sense, no training, no etiquette.
Not unstacking the boxes in an orderly fashion.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're always trying to put them layabout, or slapdash, higgledy-piggledy.
They probably just hop over the ship for a quick swim and stuff, too, don't they?
Unbelievable, yes.
Yeah.
It's filthy. The water is filthy.
Gosh.
And they sometimes don't even shower, or sometimes they call that their bath.
The water is filthy.
Well,
fish go in it.
I think this is a very fortuitous encounter. Not only does it seem like I'll be able to help out, it just so happens that we actually have some shipmates that are actually already at this den of thieves, as you called it.
Oh, I hope that they're not being taken advantage of either.
Tam is just shaking with silent laughter now.
I think they're just staying there in a room.
Well, you should warn them about the potential dangers of gambling, especially with the champ.
We will. Well, let's. You want to go head over there right now? Do they?
Oh, I don't know. I'm a little afraid to show my face there again. They may tar and feather me. Perhaps I should stay here and rendezvous with you at your ship upon the morrow.
Captain, why don't we just come back and get him when we've got what we need?
That's exactly what I was about.
Yes, of course.
To
that
say.
would be great.
You spend the night here. We're gonna go try to get it because I don't know. For all we know, we might not be able to get it. The champ, I don't know what he's like in a fight. He might actually best us, and then we don't have it, and you show up to the ship, and we wouldn't have, and we just don't want all that.
Well, the champ he's a terrifying fighter. I've seen some of his fights. Many of them he's able to knock his opponent out with one blow. He's a dragonborn, very tall, almost as broad as this pew. He's very, very intimidating, large of stature.
Can I do an insight check on Rodrigo to see how many health points he has?
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's gonna be a 14.
He's an office worker, not a fighter. You know.
The second he said one punch knocks people out, I'm like, what are you looking at here? How sturdy are you?
He's not sturdy.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so I think that's the plan. You spend the night here. We're gonna go try to get this amulet back tonight, and we should hopefully, if everything goes well, be back in the morrow, as you put it, to pick you up. And if not, it might take us 2 morrows or maybe 3 morrows, but.
I will be steadfast in beseeching Neema to aid in our quest, my friend.
Okay, that sound good to you, Tam?
Tam just throws a thumbs up.
Okay, I think we're good. Well, I think this was meant to be by Lady Neema, so I'm excited.
Yeah, Tam said, Hachiman favors the prepared.
He thanks you both, and then he goes back to his prayers.
We'll make our way out of the temple, and then I think Lycan's head, because although this was bread and butter for him, he still visited a temple for the first time. He'll put a single copper in the plate
on top of the massive pile of silver.
Awesome.
Tam walks out, and as he's leaving, just kind of nods to the statue of Neema.
Cool. Yes, you find yourselves out on the street. I think Bergen is with you guys, but I don't think he would have gone in. I think he's just he's busking with his pot.
Food.
He's selling, yeah. Let's see. He made 3 gold total
Nice.
while you guys were in there.
That's awesome.
Selling these just little skewers that he's whipped up. And he says, "Oh, we ready to go, guys? All right, sounds good. Let me pack up." And he packs up. And so where are y'all off to?
The Den of Thieves. The
All right.
what was it? Serpent.
The Serpent's Flagon.
Serpent's Flagon.
Let me guess,
Yeah.
it's all the way across town again.
It's not that far, actually. Let me see the map. It is
Hop, skip, and a jump.
item L.
It's a simple narrative sentence away.
Yeah, it's a simple narrative sentence away. It's kind of at this crossroads, one of the big crossroads. It's this large 2-story building with a courtyard in the center. So it's a big rectangle with an open air courtyard in the middle. As you come in through the front doors, you see a large bar with a open air grill and kitchen behind it. And you see a bunch of halflings, actually, like 10 halflings, almost like a whirlwind flying around this kitchen and bar and just making a bunch of things. Sometimes it seems like there are things that are being made that people aren't even ordering. They just sort of pop up. They're just so wrapped up in their craft, and things are coming out really quickly. There's a bunch of tables around, both under awnings and inside. There are groups of different sailors, some Admiralty sailors, some merchant sailors, just, groups, people having dinner, also people playing cards, gambling, gaming. There is a staircase going up, and you see in the middle of the courtyard there's a little stage, and on it there is 2 gnomes and a hobgoblin that are playing instruments. So the gnomes are both kind of playing different lutes, and the hobgoblin is drumming. It's kind of jazzy, chill jazzy vibes. You see over the courtyard there's a figurehead of a serpent coiling around what looks like a drinking horn. And the serpent has jet black eyes set into the wooden carved statue.
So, Captain, since you seem to know everybody in this place, did you have any idea about a fighting ring or tournament or something that goes on here?
Yeah, I've heard about it. I'm familiar with it a little bit. I'm trying to remember if I've heard about this champ. He might have been somebody else last time I was here, but sometimes if a fighter wins a bunch of stuff, they like to give themselves a nickname, like Ivankov the Destroyer, or it's.
Or maybe add to their shipwreck total.
No, a man's shipwreck total, that's something sacred on the seas now.
Really? Sacred? You're going to go with that word? After where we just were? You're going to go with sacred?
It's new to me, Tam. You're coming with a lot of heat. Coming with a lot of heat right now. Was that place? I mean, is every temple sacred? So every town has like 15 little sacred temples in it. You know, that's a lot of sacred ground.
Yes, by
all over the
definition, that's what a
place.
temple is a sacred place.
Is that by definition? So
Yeah,
if I just if I decide to build one myself, I just build a building, put a statue of some god in it. All of a sudden, that ground is sacred. Is that?
If worship happens there, it's a sacred place. Yes.
See, I don't understand. Like, why though? Like, I don't. And so these gods can be in all of their temples at the same time, or do they hop around all day?
Okay, you told me this lady showed up. Okay, let's just I acknowledge that Neema is a goddess, and I think it's incredible that she showed up when we were at open mic night. Just to put this in perspective, we're convinced, and I am as well, that your singing, your performance was so good that she felt the desire to show herself to you that night. And so the simple answer is that gods are mysterious and strange beings, and they can pretty much do what they want. So, yes.
Okay, I guess.
Okay, remember when we got in that argument when we were down under Hormida, and there was that really creepy place with the shadow in it? That was an evil temple. It felt bad in there, didn't it?
So that's also sacred ground.
Well, depending on your perspective, you could call that desecrated if they're worshipping something that's bad and evil. But in general, yes, sacred or desecrated has got some influx of the divine.
All right, so what if a good god turns evil then? If it was sacred ground, does all that ground all of a sudden become?
Well, that's just more of a perspective of the winners write the history books.
Oh,
after
man.
a fashion.
So I'll say both of you make religion checks.
This dice rolled a nat 20 when I was pre-rolling, and that's a 2. So that's a total of 3.
I got a 9.
Tam, Lichen, you're like, I don't know. I'm not sure about any of this. Tam, your reaction to, oh, what if a god turns evil is like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
That's
we don't
not
talk
real.
about that.
There are, not just, we don't talk about that. There are no evil gods. That is a cosmic, as far as you know, it's not a thing.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's going in the notes.
I'll say with a 2, that's your,
A 2 that became a 3, thank you very much.
with your 2 that became a 3.
That's a 50% improvement.
That's true. It's a 50%. Well, actually, then there. No. So as far
Like
as
it is an evil god.
I'll just say, as far as what is acceptable orthodox teaching in pretty much any of the followings of any of the 8 sovereigns, there are no evil gods.
So I guess with that, when Lycan says that, Tam would say, well, that just doesn't happen. Desecration is when a place that's sacred is made profane. Something wrong's done there. Like, what's something that you really enjoy? What's something you really like? Oh, I got it. Clothes. Let's say somebody gave you a brand new coat. It was the best looking coat you've ever seen. It fit perfectly through the shoulders. You could move in it. That's pretty great, right?
I mean, yeah.
What if somebody just came in and undid all the stitching for no reason?
Like I'm walking down the street and they do it?
Yep.
Do I have my glaive?
Well, this is just a thought experiment, but so just what would your reaction be?
I would stop them.
Violence, don't do that, that's not right. Yeah? And so that would be profaning something that you hold sacred.
Okay.
And because you're not a god, I'm not trying to make you feel stupid, I'm just helping you understand that
No, I don't. I
there are
don't.
powers that protect sacred spaces.
You knew nothing about the ship. You know like 10 to 20% now. I'm starting the same place with all of this godhood, temple, Neema, Hachiman, apparently. I think I can only name like 4 of them, and I think there's like 20. I don't know. How many are there?
There's 8.
There's only 8?
20's a bit much, but then again, okay, you see, this is where You run into things because
Oh,
sometimes
but they all have like a bunch of names to them, right? So there's kind of 20, but
possibly, or maybe it's just a being of extreme power, and people that don't know any better think it's a god, but maybe it's just a big hungry crocodile. And so they worship Jigtooth, the eater of all things, but then somebody comes in and goes, hey, wait a minute, that's just a big crocodile. You shouldn't be feeding yourselves to it. And then they realize that it's not a god. Differences, and so that's where it comes back into. I think Tam just devolves into all these nuanced explanations of how worship is a thing of perception and gods are a thing of power and perception, but at some point there's a tippy top and there's 8 of them on that tippy top.
So I'll just, this is as good a place as any to break it down, and Tam would have this common knowledge, so I'll just share it.
Yeah.
So actually there is one on the tippy top,
Well then.
but not a lot is known about him. People call him the maker, the creator, something of that nature. And then there are 8 sovereigns, and the world that you live in, as the stories go, has been giving into the keeping and oversight of these 8 sovereigns. They are Hala, the Lady of the Sun, Orion, the Lord of the Moons, Neema, the Lady of Seas and Storms, Fergus, the Lord of the Hearth, Ariadne, the Lady of the Forge, Hachiman, the Lord of the Warriors, Thera, the Lady of the Woods, and Vash, the Lord of Secrets.
dope, Nathaniel.
So cool.
They are all, in D&D alignment terms, either good or neutral.
Ooh.
What's Neema?
Neema is chaotic neutral.
That feels right.
The idea is those are the 2 postures that the sovereigns have. The good ones are like, we're going to care for the world and sort of give good things to people to help them make the world better. Neutral powers are like, we want to preserve the world and we want to let the mortals stand on their own. And so they might empower people, but it's usually more towards the end of like, this is to
Just balance, maintenance.
balance things out, or if someone has earned it, basically, they'll bestow power in that way. There are, as far as y'all are aware, no evil gods.
And Tam just finishes and just says, and I can always refresh you on that if you need help.
I think probably by spending this much time together, Tam is probably a little bit aware that Lichen legitimately is not the most intelligent person. But walking into this bar after all of that, I think it's the most lost you've ever seen in Lycan's eyes. Just like complete, what? This is very new to me, and it seems like there's a lot of rules and names and things. And also, I think it's also fitting because my first experience with anything was the actual one just showed up in front of me, and I'm like, that's how it's supposed to work. That's it.
I rolled a 19 insight. I think Tam grasps this, and it is just he just wants like even that's why he went with Lycan to the temple, was not to try to indoctrinate him in a certain way, but just to be there to help him understand what he doesn't. And so for Lycan to look lost, I think Tam would kind of pat him on the back and say, I know it's a lot, and it's not all as important as it could be. For example, you thought your patron was one thing, it's actually something different.
Yeah.
Practically, that doesn't change much. We've had interaction with Lady Neema, the goddess of the sea. That's incredible, even just seeing her. But that's not always going to be the case. And so, you handle the gods as you see fit. You interpret their world, you interpret their actions through the lens you've been given. And sometimes that's why we have debates and arguments, because my lens is different than your lens, or maybe I've experienced something differently than you have. But that's all right. There's not a right answer. There's not a pass-fail basis. At least not most of the time. You know, you asked if it was all right if I went in this temple earlier. Of course it is. I'm not suddenly pulling my allegiance from Lord Hachiman to Lady Neema, and even then he might be okay with it, or I'm not tempted to do that. But there's degrees of separation. So you don't have to have everything figured out all at once.
This is just, it's confusing. I need to go find something. I got to clear my head.
I thought you might. I'm here for you, Captain. Let's go pick a fight.
As you guys are standing there, you notice in a corner you see Penelope is sitting at a table with a few people. Some of them are people from y'all's crew who are just kind of staying here as well. And then you see 2 humans and a dwarf that you do not recognize sitting with her. If you want to like scan the rest of the bar, I'll take perception checks for that.
I will definitely be scanning the bar.
Cool.
Scan the bar as well.
24.
Ooh.
16.
Thanks for the goggles.
With a 24, you will notice in the different corner, there is a cleverly hidden trapdoor in the floor. It looks just like a booth, but you can see some rails where the booth might be able to slide, and you can tell, oh, there's a staircase going down, which is where you presume that the pit fighting ring is underneath the bar right now. You also notice, I'll just lay out the people that you see. You see a group of cloud elves drinking bottles of wine.
Oh, great.
You see an orc sitting alone with a sort of roll of parchment. They look like they're taking notes on something. They have a book open as well at their table. You see a group of wood elves, one of which you recognize.
What?
You're like, oh, I've seen them at a thing before. Like, you don't know them, but you're like, I think you recognize them.
Were you at General So-and-so's 15th something or other?
Yes. 200 years ago, you were tapped to attend one of the many balls that is hosted in the Kingdom of the Wood, and you saw this person at the Sun's Journey Ball, which is held typically towards the end of summer. You also see a group of humans they're kind of dressed in strange robes. You're not familiar with who. They don't look like people from your side of the world. And then you see Penelope and company.
Captain, this may be a bit strange, but see that group of wood elves over there?
Yeah, handsome bunch.
I've seen one of them before. A long time ago.
That a good thing or a bad thing?
Just a thing. If we strike out trying to find our way into this pit, or if we need some information, I might go there first.
Yeah, I say there's no hurry to get over to our crew. Maybe keep an eye on them. I don't know who those 3 people are. They're not part of our group, but I see no harm in going to try to get some information real quick first before we make our way over.
So yeah, TM will kind of awkwardly... Was this person at this Sun's Journey Ball, was this person pretty obviously superior to me, or...
This person is a noble.
Okay, ooh. TM...
And not just a noble. This person is one of... You think they're related to one of the 5 houses.
Super noble.
Yes.
Tam begins to walk forward and then just promptly turns around and goes, I've got no business talking to them.
They're also a woman.
Oh, no.
I figured you should know that.
Tam just turns up, nope.
Yes. She looks like she's a couple hundred years younger than you, sort of mid-aged. She's dressed in robes that are well-made but not flashy. And her entourage of wood elves is people that look to be, most of them are younger than her, and look rather adventurous, I guess you could say.
Captain, maybe we keep that on the back burner, as I'm noticing the feminine cast to her features and remembering that highly elevated to the level of maybe princess, duchess level of...
You want me to go talk to her?
You certainly can, but if you point at me or nod at me in any way, I will kill you.
For pointing at you?
Do you understand?
You said you knew him.
I will kill you. Don't you, I know what you're thinking. Don't you dare.
You don't.
Yes, I do.
You don't. No, you don't.
Bergen's like, Tam, I think you're making it worse on yourself.
I'll kill you too, mate.
I'm gonna go talk to the orc, and then we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, do we need to talk to anyone, or do we just need to find our way into a fighting pit?
I think that's what the orc. I'm assuming that's what the orc is. It looks like he's taking some bets, and that'd be my assumption walking in here.
By the way, there's a trapdoor over there. Don't look at it too hard, but yeah. Even if they tell us no, or, the entry fees closed, whatever.
Oh, I'm sure if we insult enough people, they'll let us in.
At this point, I don't know if you'll believe in your own lies or not, but that's usually not how getting people to like you works.
But that's the thing. We're not trying to get people to like us. We're trying to get people to fight us.
Well, it's not just picking a fight, it's signing up for a fight, is how I understood it.
Tam, I know. This is what I do. This is very normal for me.
I'm gonna be very kind, or try to be. Picking a fight, definitely in your wheelhouse, and you're very good at picking fights and winning them. I'm not gonna, no doubt there in my mind. But I think that ticking off a lot of people in here is not the way into the fighting arena. It may be. I'm not saying it's not completely, but Hachiman says, a soft answer turns away wrath.
Does Hachiman, war sovereign, really say that?
At times, yes.
Interesting.
War is to be avoided if possible.
Oh, interesting. Is that really a thing that he?
Yeah. He's not the god of slaughter and berserk rage. I think I've mentioned this to you before. He's more a god of, I don't want to say righteous war, because that sounds very holy war. That's not a thing. War for a good cause. Not to spread your ideals or to take something you want, but more war to protect those who can't protect themselves, or war to stop the spread of something bad from happening. And so, if war can be avoided through careful planning or good tactics, preventative measures, then in some ways that is doing Hachiman's bidding. As I've said, Hachiman favors the prepared. Let's say you've got a lot of stuff in your cabin. Do you lock your doors?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, see, you're preventing people from robbing you. That's a part of his teaching. It's not to say that you're flying in the face of him. Hachiman, no, he wants me to stand there and fight for my gold. No.
I feel like we're about to go down another rabbit hole about the gods and what they do. So I'm gonna go talk to this orc real quick.
Right.
I'll walk up to him.
Cool. He's sitting at a table by himself. He has a book open. He is taking notes on a scroll. He looks like he's about in his mid-30s. He has a sort of a handlebar mustache.
Nice.
And short cropped dark green hair covering a greenish skin. He has tusks that are not massive, but clearly neither does he seek to hide them. And he says, "Well, how can I help you? The name's Org.
Do you work here?
No, I'm just a paying customer. I find the nightlife is a productive space for me.
Oh, is it now?
Yeah, the hustle and bustle helps me to feel like I'm getting stuff done."
And what is it that you do, Sir Orc?
I'm a humble merchant. As you can see here, I'm just collating and collecting my ledgers.
Again with the actuaries.
Like merchant, or like merchant reclaimer, merchant repurposer, like what?
I dabble in a little bit of everything.
What's your specialty? Textiles, consumables, or I don't
go in for the dramatic stuff too much, but I suppose you could say I'm a jack of all trades, master of none.
Tam has sat down with the White Wakes crew and is just murmuring into his ear, "I know he's going to try to get her to look at me. I know he's going to try to make me talk to her, and it's just, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him."
Penelope's like, "Hey there, Tam. These are my friends, Alistair, Preston, and what was your name again?" And the dwarf says, "Zed."
Zed?
Yeah. And she's like, these are some friends of mine from back up north. They're crewing another merchant ship who's docked here, so we ran into them and figured we would just catch up for a little bit.
Tam just nods and continues muttering murderously into his ale.
You want anything? I got some jalapeno poppers for the table.
Tam just reaches over and grabs one.
It's a little spicy. Orig is just explaining how he doesn't go in for much of the dramatic stuff. No arms, no weapons. He's just kind of, just your basic goods and services and stuff of that nature. Why are you in the market for something? If there's anything that you're interested in, I could possibly try to be a broker or facilitate something. I haven't seen your face around these parts before. You from this area? You just coming through?
We're just coming through. We docked maybe not even a full day ago, coming up on it now. Just making our way through right now. I noticed the ledger and the parchment, and I was just curious. We have our own ship, and I just look like another captain. Wasn't sure what you might be doing. My crew's right over there. What's your ship's name, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I don't own a ship. I more so deal in the cargoes that come and go on the ship. If you take my meaning, I'm mostly landbound to this place. And you're familiar with this. He's not a captain. He's a merchant who contracts with captains to carry goods and stuff like that. He's a broker. He's a broker, is what he's saying.
Penelope.
Yes, Tam?
We've got to pick a fight with somebody named the Champ.
Her eyes get kind of big.
Do you know how we sign up?
Oh, I've heard about the Champ. Oh, yeah. I think if you just go to the bar and say you want a knuckle sandwich, they'll put your name down. I mean, it's not that clever, but I don't think that the authorities here mind that much that there's a quote-unquote underground fighting ring. I think that they're just sort of turning a blind eye to it, because anytime that you're here, half the people in here are Admiralty folks.
Fair enough.
I mean, look at those folks carrying it on, and there's a bunch of sailors having a birthday party with a birthday cake and carrying on.
How many candles are on the birthday cake? Remember, I rolled a 23.
Yeah. There's 204 candles, actually.
Oh my gosh.
It's an elf.
Oh.
Elf's birthday.
So, this Champ, Dragonborn, big fella?
Oh, yeah, he's big. I don't see him around here right now, but I saw him earlier, and she whistles, not like a wolf whistle, but like a wow, he's huge kind of whistle.
Yeah, right, got it. So, in these fights, is it just one-on-one, or is it group on group, or what's the...
I think that most anything goes. That they have healers standing at the ready. The fights aren't to the death, but they'll let you take weapons and stuff in there. It's mostly non-magical. But Alistair, you were telling me that the Champ took on a squad of Marines, Admiralty Marines.
Oh my gosh!
They had their swords and everything, and this guy's like, yeah, he took him apart. It wasn't even close.
I'll be right back, and I will walk over to the captain and say, I found a way into the fight. Apparently this Champ is the real deal.
Oh, okay, good to hear.
I just nod at the orc and go sit back down.
Well, thank you, orc, for your time. I mean, we're here local for the time being, so I don't know if we could pick up an easy job or something from you, anything you need help with, but...
I appreciate the offer. I'll be sure to keep that in mind. If you don't mind my asking, what cargo did you bring in? Is your ship empty on cargo? You need a cargo heading out from here? I have a lot of different moving pieces in my business, so to speak, and I'd be happy to connect you with someone who might be able to pay handsomely to get you to transport goods or perform some kind of mission, but sort of just depends on what you're up for and what your capacity is. How much tonnage are you capable of ferrying?
We got a smaller ship, and we actually just got done with kind of a we need to provide passage for some VIP types to a certain place, and we're stopping here on the way back. But to be honest, a lot of the logisticals I kind of give to my second hand, and he's right over there. So if you need anything, can you and I'll point and I'll say pretty loud, like purposely. Just ask my friend Tamirian over here, if you would. Tamirian. Yeah, I know your name this time. Yeah, I know it.
Tam looks up
and I
confused.
say it loud.
Tam is only focused on the captain. He is not looking anywhere.
I believe the wood elf table is in between.
Yes, the wood elf table is in earshot of what you just said.
So if you need anything, talk to my friend Tamirian over there, if you will.
Yeah, I heard you. I'm old, but I'm not that old.
Tam salutes with his mug and just sits back down, looking confused.
Okay. Well, you have a good rest of the night, sir. But yeah, let us know, and I'll walk on over.
So yeah, apparently, Captain, all weirdness aside, all you have to do to ask to sign up is ask for a knuckle sandwich at the bar.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
That's what Penelope says.
Yeah, you want in?
Well, apparently, I did a bit of recon. Who knew how much information was close to home? It's somewhat of a no-holds-barred, everything goes. And Penelope knows who the champ is. Gave him a bit of a whistle. And apparently, one of these gents just saw him take on an entire squad of Marines, single-handed, and come out the victor.
Sure. What? You said Penelope whistled? What is that?
More of a respectful thing, not exactly, not a oodalolly kind of, look at his bulging biceps, but just he does a lot of damage.
Okay, knuckle sandwich. You said, right?
Yep.
All right, I'll be back. I'll march over
to the bar.
Yep.
You see probably about 10 halflings acting like the sky's falling, scampering around this kitchen/bar, throwing things on the grill, frying things in pans. There's a guy with a drink mixer. He's shaking it like frantically. And another guy comes up and he has like a cast iron skillet and he's got like 1,000-yard stare and he's like, "How can I help you, sir?"
Yeah, can I get around for our table over there? And I'm a little peckish myself.
All right, yes.
Could I get a knuckle sandwich?
There's like a record scratch. They all stop and he goes, "Are you sure about that?"
Listeners, if you could see Nathaniel's face, it would be, this is a thing of beauty.
Yeah, no, I think so. Is there any
Lester, knuckle sandwich. And one of them scribbles something down and tears off a piece of paper, gives it to you, and he says, "May the sovereigns have mercy on you." And they get back to their frantic cooking and mixing and bartending, and eventually one of them comes out with another one on their shoulders, carrying a platter of drinks over their head, and they're sort of wobbling, but they make it to the table all right, and they hand y'all's drinks to you.
This is much better, because I was imagining them as those two pill bugs from Bug's Life, where they're like constantly, Russian acrobat jumping on each other. This is better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're not quite as competent as the pill bugs from Bug's Life.
Barely controlled chaos.
Yes, it is very chaotic. And Bergen thinks so. He's like, "This is a pretty chaotic kitchen. I don't think I would stand for this. It seems like it's pretty inefficient."
Bergen, do you want to fight with us too?
Uh,
Penelope said there was no magic. Maybe when we get down there, we'll figure out exactly how much. If I'm being honest, I don't know how much use I'll be outside of magic, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'll do anything I can, but if there's no magic, I don't know how useful I'll be. Of course, I'll be ready to give you any buffs, perhaps before you go into the fight. If necessary, I could give you some sort of buff before you go in, if that would be appreciated.
Yeah, we'll see what the rules allow and what can be fudged.
Sounds good. On the little slip of paper that you get, it's just sort of like a little stub that says your time slot, essentially. And it says, go to booth 7.
I'm just like, oh, that's booth 7. Yeah, it's real obvious.
Yep. There's a little 7 over it. It just says go there at that time, and someone will meet you there.
Okay.
You've got about 30 minutes, probably. If there's anything else you want to accomplish in the bar. If not, we can just say...
Did the Wood Elves notice anything? Are they just chilling?
They have not made any perceptible moves.
I think in the intervening time, Tam would look at Lichen and go, "I'm not an idiot. Well, it took me a minute to realize what you were doing. To the best of my knowledge, they would have no idea who I am. They may have noticed that I am, in fact, a wood elf, as we noticed that they are. You know, you said the Wandering City has the families and whatnot. That lady over there is one of the matriarchs, or as near as you can get to one of those and still be allowed to walk around. If memory serves. It's been about 200 years. But the fact for her to know me would be a bit strange, actually.
I don't know what you're talking about. He was asking about the ship and cargo, and honestly, I don't know a lot about it. So I was like, hey, Tam's the man for that job.
You really think I know more about anything on that ship than you do?
He said, how many tons can our ship take?
You've got a walking actuary in your pocket.
Sir, I have the answer to that question if you would like to make use of my extensive knowledge.
I imagine Lichen carries him in a satchel, and the satchel just moves. It's almost like the satchel talks now instead of Crawford.
Yeah, Crawford, how many tons can our ship handle?
Not very many. We are not designed as a cargo vessel, and so cargo of more than 1 or 2 tons will likely be beyond the capacity of our ship. We are mainly designed as a quick reconnaissance and passenger carrying vessel.
Okay, that's actually really good to know for the future.
You have space for like the supplies and for a few passengers, but it's like mainly like a fast yacht or schooner type ship, not a merchant vessel.
How fast could we make vessel run?
Pretty quick.
Captain, I was going to ask, I mean, do you really want to be picking up busy work and shipping and stuff? I thought we were going to be road merchants.
I mean, I thought I'd offer. I gotta be honest, I made a mistake. I thought he was the guy taking names and bets for this fighting ring, and I kind of just assumed, and I went up and started talking, and then when I quickly realized that he might not be that mark,
And then you couldn't stop.
I need to change the subject, because it's really weird, right, to walk up in a bar and be like, "Hey, what's up? Okay, bye."
No, it's perfectly fine. If people think you're weird, it's perfectly fine. Trust me. I've got a -1 to charisma.
So you said that this lady elf over here is pretty high up.
Yeah. In fact, I'm a bit
And-
surprised that she's out and about. And
I was about to ask, any thoughts on that? Like, why would someone like that be here of all places? And I'm assuming if you say she's as high up as you just said she is, I'm assuming those other ones with her are probably her guard, I'd imagine.
I think that's a safe assumption. And if I'm being honest, that I may have overstepped or oversold it a bit. She is so high above my station that I don't really understand what her station is outside of that it's very high.
I get that.
And so the nuance of it is a bit lost on me. But for her to know me, there is a small chance that she might know my mentor Falaria, the one that taught me about Hachiman.
Yeah.
But also, Kingdom of the Wood has folks out doing other business. We're not necessarily isolationist. She could be out exploring. There's no telling what she's doing. And I'm not opposed to talking to her if need be, but I didn't want to make that the very first conversation we had when we already had a goal in mind.
Fair enough. I'm just trying to figure out, I mean, is there any business out here that would make sense for, elves from the King of the Woods to...
Yeah, I mean, we're an empire on the glass sea. We ship, we move goods, we move people. Our biggest conflict really comes, I don't want to say posturing, but there's a lot of saber rattling between us and the Admiralty, largely because of the encroachment of the Admiralty, at least from my perspective. A lot of the fights and battles that I was involved in had to do with more border skirmishes, things like that. You may have heard me and Bergen talking about how there's occasional goblin versus elf conflict. We've gotten past that ourselves, but we're not hidden from the world. We're not trying to stay secret. So I mean, she could, maybe she was the one that needed something from Orug, or she could be out, trying to put some teeth on a lighthouse. Just because I'm a stick in the mud and a homebody doesn't mean we all are.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. That hurts Tim a little bit, but he's also like, eh.
Can I do like perception insight check on the table? I'm essentially trying to figure out, based on how often I've been in bars or even dealt with the families of the city, like the quasi royalty that I'm familiar with, their posture. Like, are they waiting for something? Are they nervous? Are they meeting somebody? Is there anything like that I could glean?
I think it's more of an insight check than perception.
Okay. Oh, not great. 8.
Yeah, they definitely don't seem nervous. They don't really seem to be waiting either.
Okay.
They are in port, and this is where they came, for the comforts of the shore.
What if she's like one of those, princesses who are like, I don't want to be a princess. I want to go to the fighting ring. What if she's like one of them?
Well, then you may have a chance to impress a princess here in about 10 minutes.
Interesting. I don't know if I've ever given that much thought. Loyalty. Princesses.
I mean, they're just people. They've just got a lot of money and power and influence and, yeah, they're a bit different sometimes.
Fair enough. Oh, I think my time slot's coming up.
Your piece of paper starts blinking and vibrating. like a seat.
Yeah.
Oh, her name's up.
Yeah. So you guys head over to the table 7. Your table comes with you, actually, unless you bid them stay.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, can you all come and cheer us on?
Penelope's like, yeah, of course. And Alistair's like, we might be coming to watch you get the crap beat out of you.
Sam's like, oh, that's all right, I don't care.
Okay. And Bergen comes as well. You guys head to this booth, and you notice that the table kind of like folds away, and there's a curving staircase that goes down.
Cool.
And as you go, you kind of get the impression that this is like the competitor's entrance, and you see some other people subtly disappearing across the way down what might be a spectator's entrance. Although you and your friends go down this flight of stairs, and there is 2 paths. It sort of opens out into this lip, and it's sort of this terraced bowl out of stone. And on the left-hand side, you see a bar down here. You kind of go down a flight of stairs, and you're in the subterranean area that is lit by torches and fires, and there's this enormous hanging brazier over the pit, and then it's this sort of circular arena, and there's steps large enough for people to sit on, and there's a circle that's about like 40 feet in diameter at the bottom, and you see a massive, probably 8-foot tall dragonborn who just clocks this guy wearing Admiralty chainmail. You can hear the thud as his fist connects, and this guy literally flies out of his boots and just lands cold. And you see a Goliath kind of at the edge of the arena shout, "And another victory for the champ!" And there's a bunch of people down here. People are clapping and stuff. You see the wood elves have come down here and have found seats. The cloud elves have come down as well. The orc did not come down here. Not everyone at the bar has come down here. They're not all into that. Your companions go and get seats. There's a betting, there's a bookie station as well. And you see that, there's also refreshments and stuff. Trying to think if there's any other relevant information. Bergen's so do you want me to come with you guys? I don't think that there's much I could do. I could give you some inspiration, perhaps cast a bliss spell or something on you, but I don't know if I could do that much.
Yeah, is there some way that we can determine what the
rules are?
Is there somebody that will explain the rules?
Yeah. There's a board posted. Competitors, no killing, no casting spells in the ring. Anything else goes, basically.
So casting spells before the ring is acceptable, would seem?
Yeah. Oh, also no outside interference once you get into the ring.
Okay, got it.
And as you guys are coming in, you hear the announcer be like, "We have our next challenger. Come on down." And he points to you. I don't think you gave your name, right? What name would you have given? Also, Lichen, I feel like you've definitely been here before.
Okay.
This is not your first time being here. I think it's probably your first time fighting in this fighting pit, but you've been here before. Although the champ was not the champ last time you were here. It was the champion, the current champion when you were here last was a human named Shipwreck Jones.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Nice. Do I recognize the current champ at all?
His back's to you at the moment, so you don't know yet.
I don't know. Lycan would have come up with something on the spot, like the white ripple or something.
Okay. The White Ripple! Hopefully his fighting is fiercer than his name.
Is there like a limit how many people can enter the ring right now? Is it just me? Is it...
No, if Tam wants to come, he can come too.
Tam's coming to help.
But like, is it us against him
Yes.
only, or like...
Yes. He fights alone. That's what you're gathering.
Tam is going to, as they announce the White Ripple, and Tam has begun to kind of massage Lycan's shoulders.
Yeah.
All right, champ, we're gonna do this. You're gonna knock him dead. You're gonna do great. You're gonna impress the princess, and you're not gonna say my name that loud ever again. And as I'm doing that, I will cast Shield of Faith on him.
Nice.
And so, as he's doing that, you almost see this shimmering field almost flow out of Tam's hands across Lycan's body, and it's almost like he is wearing this pearlescent glow. This slick of oil is over him, and he will have +2 to his AC for as long as I have concentration.
Nice.
If that's the case, we can cast before we enter. So...
Bergen will give both of you Bardic Inspiration as well. He pulls out his last 2 skewers and says, "Here, mates, you should take this, and I'll go find my seat."
Oh, do we have Fortune's dice rolls?
I don't think you've used it today.
No, I haven't.
As you guys are sort of getting ready, the announcer's like, "These are the competitors. Come on down and face the champ. You all know him. You all love him. This is his 111th combat here at the Serpent's Flagon. We'll see if he comes back with another victory. There's just enough time for you to get your refreshments, place your bets, and be ready for the next round of combat."
This is great.
And people are like chanting, "Champ, champ, 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 champ." Penelope goes, "Let's go, White Ripple."
The boulder feels conflicted in fighting a small girl.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is gonna be great.
You guys start heading down to the...
Neither of these are concentration. I'm going to do Armor of Agathis.
Okay.
So I'm going to do both Armor of Agathis and Mirror Image.
Okay,
Snap.
cool.
Neither of them are concentration.
So you guys head down to the pit, and the announcer's like, "Whoa, looks like there's a lot of you." But the champ's had experience fighting squads of people before. You know him, you love him, here he is, the champ. And he turns around, arms held high, has these cloth wraps around his fists. He's a dragonborn. He's probably 7 to 8 feet tall. He's got a massive bulk. He's not wearing a shirt.
It's Captain Siegfried, isn't it?
It's not Captain Siegfried. It is someone that Lycan knows.
Jeez!
Cool.
He looks at you guys and he goes, "Lycan?" And you know that this is Tenarius Tank Silverfang, who is one of the children of the Silverfang crime family.
Oh, jeez.
Tank goes, "It's good to see you again, man. I'm gonna pound the crap out of you." And it's gonna be initiative.
Are we like buddies at all or no?
He is the meathead of meatheads from your hometown. He was not mean.
Okay.
He's not mean like Vincent. He's not sneaky like Vincent. Like, y'all have fought before. He's just like likes to fight, you know? He's kind of like rowdy, rambunctious kid. You think he doesn't have a bad heart, but he just has a fighting heart. But he's way bigger than the last time you saw him. Like, last time you saw him, he was smaller than you. And he's like huge.
Yeah.
It's time to rumble.
Oh no. Alright, initiative.
Lycan's actually going to see it smile and just be like, "Tank! I'm going to beat the crap out of you."
Not if I beat the crap out of you first,
Is he
man.
wearing an amulet of some variety?
You see wrapped around in one of his wraps, sort of woven into it, you see an amulet
Oh, jeez.
that matches the description that Rodrigo gave you. All right, Tam, what's your initiative?
I rolled a big 9.
All right, Lichen.
It's gonna be a 14.
All right, awesome.
Oh gosh, this is gonna be so bad.
Almost surprisingly quickly for how large this guy is, he sprints across the sand of this arena and does like a flying Superman punch, arm cocked at Lichen. And he's going to make some attacks.
So you have +2 to your AC.
Oh, that's
In
right.
addition, so that doesn't apply to your whatever rolls. I don't remember the order of operations. If it hits first, and then if it hits you or your dudes. But you have +2.
So first attack is a 13. I assume that misses.
Yes.
Second attack is worse than that. And then last attack that's a 2. So he misses 3 attacks.
Yes.
It's just 3 massive punches. Woof, woof, woof. And you just feel the heat of it go by as you...
Also,
as he-
what are the have we rolled your magical dice for the day?
No, I can roll them right now. Because I think I have 3 written down, but those must have been the old ones, and they're pretty high. Okay. 4, 1, 3.
All right. Cool. With that, it is going to be Lichen.
Bonus action rage. Up. And then I will take my first swing. He has blood, I'm assuming.
He does.
You've probably seen his blood.
18 to hit.
Yeah.
That is his AC, but
Oh.
he's going to use his reaction to parry.
Oh.
And he adds +5 to his AC for the rest of... till his next turn. So his AC is now 23.
Okay.
And so he sees this glaive is coming, and he catches it, pushes it to the side, and he's like, "Nice try, Lichen. You have to be quicker than that to take me
Oh
down."
no.
Okay, so +5 until the end of his turn. That's all I got. I still only have 1 attack right now.
Cool. All right, Tam, you're up.
I am going to, knowing that I am probably small fry, I'm going to just unnecessary dive roll to the side. I would think we'd kind of spread out a little bit and just sprint as far away as possible and fire at him with my bow.
All right.
Nope, that's going to miss. That's a 5.
Okay.
This is bad. Oh, no.
Cool. All right, top of the order, his turn. He's going to keep taking swings at Lichen. That first one's going to be a 21.
Yep, that'll hit.
All right. Do you want to roll if your mirror image?
Oh, yes. All I needed is above a 6.
What's your AC with the...
18.
Nice.
Yeah, which I think is the same as him before he parried.
That's perfect.
And he can't do that every time.
I did not roll above a 6, so it actually hits.
All right, that's going to be... He cocks his left arm like he's going to, like, really lay into you, and then just sort of, like, hits you with a quick jab, like, right to your nose. That's going to be 7 bludgeoning damage for the first hit.
Half to 3.
Yes, half to 3.
He takes 10 damage.
Yes, it triggers the armor of Agathis. What kind of damage is that?
I
think it's cold,
want
isn't
to say cold.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, he takes the full amount then. He's like, "Whoa! It was a dirty trick,
What?
but it's not going to stop me from giving it right back to you. Here comes another punch."
Oh, gosh.
18, so make your another roll, I guess.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, that'll miss. He
Okay.
hits one
Woo.
of the guys.
He's like, "What? Where'd you go, Lichen?" And he misses with his last attack.
Nerds and meatheads. I love it.
He's going to use a bonus action. Yeah, because he still has a bonus action. As he is punching through the mirror image, he sort of tucks and rolls, and he comes up and he throws a bunch of sand at you in your eyes. I'm going to say make a con save, DC 13, or you're going to have a consequence.
Dirty
from the
fighter,
sand.
says the guy who cast magic on his friend before we started.
Set a con saving 18.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you blink through, you're able to see clearly for your next turn, but he's definitely like a pit fighter. You know, he's not like a honorable... He just likes to rumble, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, all right, Lichen, your turn.
All right, I'm going to swing at him again. That is plus 18.
All right, That hits him. Roll
So you can
damage.
Parry.
He can't do it every single turn.
Oh, okay. Those are D12s. There it is. Oh, and he has blood.
Yep.
Because why wouldn't he? That is 11 damage.
All right. Cool. Yeah, that hurts. He's like, oh, that was a good hit. Tam, you're up.
Nice, dude.
Or is that your turn? Is that your turn, Lichen?
Yeah.
I'm going to continue just kind of walking and just slow, steady firing. So the first one is a 17 on the dice plus... So it's 21.
Okay, that hits.
D8 plus X. 9 piercing.
Cool. Yeah.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action attack. That's a 3, so that's going to miss.
Yeah, that is not going to hit, unfortunately. Top of the order, it's his turn. He feels the arrow kind of take him in the back shoulder. He's going to be like, I'll deal with you in a second. And he's just going to keep punching, just boom, 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 all over and over again, super quick, like a punching bag, trying to just hit Lichen as many times as he can. So, two on the dice for the first one, 22 for the second one.
That'll hit.
All right, that's going to be another 7 halved to 3, I guess.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm rolling real quick.
Oh, yeah. Forgot.
No, it hits. It's a 3, man.
All right.
So you said another 8?
Yep.
Half to 4?
Yes.
Well, and so for Michael to use his dice to subtract, you roll, but he has to tell you if he wants to subtract it before
I gotta
the
call
total.
it before he says it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, another attack, and that one's gonna miss. So he punches you twice, and then the third one you're able to duck under it as he kind of like comes at you from the side. And for his bonus action, he's going to try to trip you. He's just sort of like does a leg sweep. So make a dexterity saving throw, DC 13.
DC what?
13.
14. Oh gosh, I thought you said 15.
DC 13.
I was like, man.
And you've got Bardic too.
You do have Bardic.
Oh, and I have these dice.
Yeah, he tries to sweep your leg, and you just are too strong. Oh, you've been hitting the gym. Pretty cool, Lichen. Maybe we can work out sometime.
Tank's bravado right now is like messing up Lycan's battle focus.
He's like an after-school special bully that's already kind of learned his lesson.
Yeah. Tank's like, so, how have you been, man? It's been so long since I've seen you. Do you get back to the Watering City? Poof, poof, poof. In between all of the talk. And it's at Lycan's turn now.
Yeah, I'll swing away. Come on. Dirty 20.
That hits. Yeah.
Yes. I keep waiting for you to parry again.
Yeah.
And
He hasn't gotten it back yet.
ooh. That is going to be 15 damage on that.
Nice.
15. That is big. Okay. He thinks he's going to block it, but you sort of like whip around his guard and just really get him bad. Oh, nice hit. that hurts actually a little bit. Oh. And Tam, you're up.
Why do I like you? I'm just going to shoot him again. In the back. Golly, I'm rolling like garbage. That's a 5 on the dice.
I like you. Boom.
Bonus attack again. 17 on the dice. 23. Or 21, excuse me.
To hit?
Yes.
Yes. That hits.
Okay. And that's 4 piercing.
All right, cool. Back up to his turn. He is going to use his bonus action to second wind, so he's going to get back some hit points.
Oh dear.
And you see him sort of, the arrow had taken him down to one knee, and he just takes a deep breath. And he gets back up and he's like,
Cool.
so how's your brother and sister? They're super cool. And he just starts punching again. So first one, that's going to be an 18 to hit.
I'm very conflicted about shooting this person.
Yeah, that matches. I keep wanting to be like, oh, I can add a dice to my armor class. You can't do that. Yeah, 18 meets it. So, I'll roll because I still have 2 because I have been rolling really bad on this. There we go. Yeah, misses. Okay.
Yay.
Okay.
So I'm down another.
He's like, that's a pretty crazy trick. I didn't know you could cast spells. This next one, that is going to be, I think, just a 17, so that'll miss.
Come on,
Yeah,
yes.
17, that'll miss.
I'm
And
helping.
then
You are.
the last one will be 19 to hit.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me roll one last duplicate. Yep, 18 misses.
Okay.
All right, cool. So all the duplicates are down. There's one left, and he's like,
Yes.
"Oh, there you are. There you are, Lichen." And with that, it is your turn.
Okay, so all the duplicates are down. Still have a little bit of temp HP.
And your bardic.
You're right. I do have a bardic. I'm going to use it because it's only 16 right now, and I know he has 18. I'm gonna. Yeah, sure. Well, no, I want a sure thing. I'm gonna use my three that I rolled to add to that, and that should get me to 19 to hit.
Nice.
He is going to parry because he got it back
No.
last turn.
Gosh!
So he
But
just,
you made him use his parry.
yes. So he sort of kicks back out of the way, jumps back, and just gets out of the way of your glaive as it slices the air in front of him. He's like, "Huh, you're too slow that time, Lichen."
Cool. Yeah, I mean that's all I got.
Don't smoke, kids. It's lame.
Yeah. He's like, "Honestly, gambling's pretty lame, but I do this because I like to fight."
It's my turn.
Yeah.
Right. Just continuing to walk in a circle and lay into him with arrows. I'm rolling so garbage. That's a 6. Not gonna work. And that is a 17. I'm gonna use my bardic. I rolled a 2, so that's a 19. 19
Okay.
total with 2 on the bardic dice.
19 does not hit with the parry.
Oh, y'all! Forgot about the stupid.
He somehow is able, like you line it up, and it's going right for the back of his head, and he just sort of spins around and like bats it out of the air with his hand.
Impossible!
Power level's over 3,000.
It's a pretty cool move, right? Like, and I've practiced a long time to perfect that one. Top of the order, it's his turn. He is going to use his bonus action first this time because he can do that. He's going to try to sweep the leg again. So DC 13.
On me still.
Yeah.
Okay. 19 on the die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This time you just jump over his leg, and then he is going to make his attacks on you. So first, it's going to miss. It's a 5 on the die, 6 on the die. I think they're all going to miss. This modifier's not bad, but I keep rolling below 10, which is just not enough with y'all. That'll be his turn. Actually, he's going to use his movement, so he'll take an attack of opportunity, and he's going to move towards Tam.
No, he's not.
Okay. Yep.
He's not doing that.
I'm gonna use my 1. Yeah, because his parry's gone now, right?
Yes, at the end of his turn.
And he just used his bonus action as well.
Yep.
So using my 1 will get it to an 18 total.
Yep, that hits.
That way it hits.
Right.
That's good.
Okay.
16.
Damage.
Yep.
Nice.
It was a 9 on the 10, a 5, and then I get to add.
Nice.
2.
That's
So,
huge.
yeah.
16.
That's
yeah.
a huge hit. He's like, oh, but he makes it probably within 10 feet of Tam. And it's Tam's turn.
I am going to preemptively switch to my shield and katana
Cool.
and attack him once. Not blue dice because it keeps rolling like garbage. That's a nat 20.
Nice.
There it is.
All right.
So that's 10 plus 8. 18.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, that's crazy.
That's the best I can do.
All right, he's starting to look a little rough. He's like, oh, that was a pretty good hit. You pack a big punch, but you don't look like you're that strong.
Tam just kind of growls at him. I'll be friends with you later.
Oh yeah, I think I'd like that. You guys are pretty tough. Maybe we can, I don't know, have brunch or something. I'm a big brunch guy. Wait, I think I might have accidentally skipped Lycan's turn.
Oh yeah, because he got the attack of opportunity, and
Attack of
then
op.
he ran to me.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's
Okay.
just do Lycan, and then we'll go back to the champ.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll move. You said he was still like 10 feet away from Tam?
Yes, he's not. Well, Tam closed the distance.
Yeah, in weird time skip fashion, I ran forward.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. I'll run up and attack him then.
cool.
Because I should be able to get back up to him. Especially with a glaive. With reach. Come on! No.
No.
I can't even add enough to this to make it hit. It's a 4 on the die. So, miss. Yeah. That's all I got.
Cool.
Ah!
He is going to edge around, so he kind of is facing both of y'all at the same time.
Mhm.
And he is going to open his mouth and
Oh no!
watch this, guys. This is pretty cool. And he just exhales lightning at you guys because he's a blue scale dragonborn. So both of y'all make DC 13 dex saving throws.
Saves. I failed. Rolled a 7. I'm rolling so garbage today. We're just all over the place. I definitely failed.
You said 13?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's a 13. I'm gonna use my last dice.
Wait, didn't you say 13 was the DC?
DC 13.
Yeah, so you made it.
Oh, I thought he said. Well, I keep hearing a higher number for the DC checks.
DC 13.
So wait, but Ben, what did you roll?
I rolled a 7. I rolled a 9.
I'm gonna use my last D4 on Tam to let
Okay.
him succeed.
Oh!
Cool. So both of you succeed. You kind of duck out of the way, but part of the lightning blast catches you, and you would have taken 23 lightning damage, but that is halved to 11
Oh, that's good.
for both of you.
All right, let's see. Come on, con save.
That's
Yep.
not gonna get halved again for me either.
Your AC goes down. I lose concentration.
Okay.
That's his turn. So, I guess next up is Lichen.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep swinging at him. So I think all my spell stuff, everything's gone. So I'm just in battle focus attacking. 16. It's not gonna hit. Oh wait, I still have
Bardic?
Bardic Inspiration, right? So that was 16. So I only needed 2.
Come
I
on.
needed 2.
Come on.
6.
Yes!
Nice. There you go. All right,
Oh,
roll
and
damage.
that does extra stuff because of the sandwich of power.
Oh, it does, because Bergen's
Yes.
special.
Yes.
Bergen special.
He's a special little cook boy.
He takes, I believe he's going to take 6 damage.
I've been rolling like above average on both of these dice, like almost every time right now, which is needed.
Yes, because I am doing so good.
So I just got a 7 and a 5, and I'm raging. Oh, I always forget this because I get an additional 2 for raging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking that replaces just the plus.
No, man, that's you. So you're plus 4
That's
or whatever.
strength.
Yeah. It's your dice plus your strength plus your 2 when you're raging, and then your d6 for blood.
I'm just making you do math.
Because a glaive is strength.
I don't know.
Finesse,
I don't
right?
know. I don't know why the rage damage always confuses me for some reason. It's just an extra plus 2. Like it
Yep.
shouldn't be. So that's 15 damage before the 6 dice is added or whatever.
Yeah, so the way it works is he has to make a con save versus Bergen's spell DC,
Okay.
and he passed it, so he's not going to take the bonus damage.
Come on, sandwich.
Yeah, you see the outline of the sandwich. My lord, I have failed you, and then it sort of just impacts against the scales of Tank. But that's 15 damage, you said?
Yes, that's 15.
That's still pretty good. So that is...
That would be my turn, but we time traveled, right? Because
But no,
is this another round past that?
another round has passed.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so now it's your turn again for
Actually, my turn.
realsies.
For realsy. Right, let's figure out which dice to use here. 17, 21.
Yeah, that hits, and he has not gotten his parry back yet.
7 piercing damage.
All right, he's starting to look pretty hurt.
Tam is in like shield wall formation. He's just kind of bulling forward, stabbing over the top of his shield.
Cool. So his turn. He is going to do the leg sweep thing on Tam.
Oh,
So,
good. It's a dex save.
Yeah, DC 13.
9 plus 6. 11. Darn it.
Okay, so you're knocked prone.
Yep.
So he knocks you prone, and then he just like jumps on you, and is just
No.
like wailing on you. So he gets advantage on all of these attacks.
Okay.
So that's going to be over 20 for
Yep.
the first one. So that'll be 9 bludgeoning damage for the first one.
Okay.
That is going to be 18 damage on the
That
second
misses.
one.
Or 18 to hit. Misses.
18 to
Ha-ha.
hit. So you get your shield up, and he punches it, and then he'll swing again on the third one. That's going to be over 20 for the last one, and that'll be another 8 bludgeoning damage as he's just
gosh.
punch, 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 punch. While he's doing this, he just sort of looks over at Lycan, and he's like, "Is this one of your friends? Like, is he from the Watering City too? I've never seen him
Tank. It's
before."
really nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm sorry for this is how we had to meet. You seem like a really cool guy. I was serious about brunch earlier.
Watching Tam be beaten to a pulp by Tank.
Is everyone in your hometown weirdly likable?
And with that, it's Lycan's turn.
19 to hit.
Yes.
Okay, he actually does have parry back this time,
No,
so
gosh.
he
Gosh.
blocks it.
Ugh.
Stupid parry, man.
Low level missing. Is me again?
Yeah, Tam, you're up. And you're prone.
I will roll out from under his pummels and get up and say, are you more of a Bloody Mary brunch person or mimosas? And I will stab at him with a 14 and miss.
Okay. It's his turn, so he's going to punch
Well,
two times at you.
hang on, sorry, I scratch that. I rolled a 9 plus 4. I'm gonna use my bonus action guided strike and add 10, so that becomes a 23.
Okay, yeah,
Which
that's his
will
AC
hit him
with
even
parry.
with his
Yep.
parry, right?
Yeah,
Ah!
he does an amazing move where he dodges out of the way, but your sword supernaturally, like a heat-seeking missile, follows him.
I kind of close my eyes for a second and just shifts to the side.
Yeah.
That's 9 piercing damage.
Okay, nice. He's looking very hurt. Oh, the champ can't lose. And it's his turn, so he's going to, since you hit him that hard, he's going to devote his 3 attacks on you. That'll be 2 on the dice.
Yes.
And a crit.
It hits. It doesn't crit though. It hits. It doesn't crit. Hits. It doesn't crit.
Oh, yeah.
Because of my fancy armor. Yay.
That's going to be another 8 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. I am still not good.
And his last attack is going to be a dirty 20.
That hits.
That's going to be another 8.
I'm alive. Barely.
Oh, gosh.
Barely.
Okay.
With his bonus action, he's going to, he punches twice, and that last hit is a kick to your ribs, just sort of like does a spinning kick to the side. And as he turns, he scoops down, picks up some sand, and throws it in Lycan's eyes. So make another DC 13 con save.
On.
Is it me or Lycan?
Lycan.
Okay. Come on, buddy.
Yeah. 12 on the die. Con, I have a decent one. Plus 3. Yeah,
Okay.
15.
Woo.
All right. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. And it is Lycan's turn.
Come on, buddy.
We can't cast anything, right?
Or it's against the rules.
It's against the rules.
we might still get to have brunch.
He's like swaying.
on.
He's like groggy.
Ah,
Nat 20. Nat 20.
Yes.
So I get max both dice?
No, just
I think what we've done before.
yeah,
is
whatever we've done before.
You do your melee dice, so you get your max glaive, plus your
Yes.
strength, plus your rage. Then you roll your glaive again, and
Yes.
I think we've just double rolled all the other adders.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would roll a d10 and 2 d6s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Come on,
Plus-
come on.
Yes.
And it's plus 3 because I'm raging.
Yeah, rage plus strength.
So yeah, my strength's only 1 because initially I was doing a finesse weapon, so I put more into dex.
So it's 13.
Kind of regretting it at this point.
13. Come on, math rocks.
Okay. Oh. We got a 9, a 5, and a 3. 17 plus 20. 20 damage.
Lycan.
No, plus 13. That's 30 damage.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
30 damage.
Either one, it's enough. How do you? I assume you're doing non-lethal. How do you knock this guy out?
I think again, I don't know. In Tam's haze of being pummeled, he notices again some obviously trained, similar to how he trains with like his swordsmanship with Hachiman. There's a slice into his leg to bring him down, and the backside of the glaive just straight to the skull to knock him out.
Yeah, you feel there's almost like a ping noise as the glaive smacks across the scaled head of this guy. I mean, he's a dragonborn with horns. He has a shock of silver hair, and he's down on his knee, and the pang brings him to his feet, and he staggers a little bit, and he says, "Is that all you got?" And then the eyes roll back into his head, and he falls backwards with a crash, and there is silence.
Tam throws down his shield and sword, grabs Lycan's hands, and just raises him up. Are you not entertained?
The crowd goes wild. People are screaming. The announcer's like, "We have a new champion!" And as the cheers of this crowd echo into your skulls, two things. One,
Oh, man.
you have leveled up.
Yes!
Oh!
Yes!
Let's go!
Yes!
And two, that is a great place to end our session.
Let's go.
Holy moly.
Level
Level up.
What thought was going to be a much
my
more tough
gosh.
fight for you was not as hard because of some really bad rolls on his part.
It was a grind. It was a grind. It was a nervous grind.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that brings us to the end of another session of Across the Glass Sea. We hope you are all
Great session.
as excited and pumped up as we are right now. If you don't mind, give us a like, comment, or subscribe on whatever you're using to adventure along with us. And let's see if we can give some post-game advice.
I got a 14.
I rolled a 3.
I rolled a 3.
Ooh, so roll off?
Roll off.
Or do we...
I think so.
I got a 14.
Nathaniel, you roll a 3 too, man?
I rolled a 14.
Come on.
The one time when I roll high.
That's a 9. I did better. That's a 9.
That's a 10.
What? This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is not rigged. Okay, this is not rigged.
You'll have to get Bergen to give you bardic inspiration
seriously, just
for the
Ben
advice
needs
roll.
bardic inspiration. From all of us here at the Glass Sea, next time you're involved in a slightly underground fighting ring, have a conversation with the guy you're fighting. You may have a
Could be
brunch
fun.
buddy the next day.
Might make a friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't answer your question. But he got knocked out too quickly.
I'll buy him one of each.
Yeah. That was awesome. Thanks,
Oh
guys.
my gosh.
That was a ton of fun.
I'm
That was so
pumped
cool.
up. Thank you, Nathaniel. That was
Oh.
amazing.
Yeah, thanks, man. Nothing like a brawl ring.
Well, we will catch you guys later. Thanks for listening, and that's all from us. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. See y'all next time.
Later.